Are you sure it's not working? Let's talk about this just a little bit. Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. Today we're going to talk about, are you sure it's not working? How do you know? First off, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. What you're watching is you're watching me walk. I couldn't do this 21 months ago. Now I'm out here walking every day. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. It means an awful lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. So thank you to everyone who's watching this. Help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I am 60 years old, and I'm doing things that I couldn't do when I was 40. Like being out here walking every day. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." Go ahead and consider hitting the subscribe button. All of those things that are absolutely free help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. But let's talk about this subject just a little bit. Oh, yeah, it's the same 45 degrees today that it was in yesterday's video. But without that sun, it feels much, much colder. Because it's kind of a gray, gloomy day here in Omaha, Nebraska. This is still not bad for February in Nebraska, early February. It could be much, much worse. But just wanted to let you know, it's the same temperature it was yesterday, just without the sun behind it. It's much colder. But anyway, I know I've talked a lot about having patience. In fact, I just talked about that recently. But I had a comment, I don't want to get into specifics, but if you feel it's not working, let's say you started the carnivore diet even as much as 2.5 months ago, and you're not seeing any fat loss, because it is fat loss you're after, not weight loss. It's fat loss. And that's the whole reason you're doing it. Well, first, I think you have to take a look at your why. Why do you want to lose that fat? But then you have to realize that everybody loses or doesn't lose at a different pace. And you may be healing something that you didn't even know was wrong with you. I always have to go back to the example of Miss Kelly Hogan, who is an amazing person, by the way. But, she spent the first 6 months of her carnivore journey putting on weight. Now, I have no idea if she noticed any recomposition of her body during that 6 times. She hasn't really talked about that. She could be losing fat and gaining muscle. Where would she be today if, I think she's been doing this for 12, 13 years now, something like that, maybe even 15. I don't remember exactly, but where would she be today if she'd gotten 5 months into it and said, this just isn't working, I'm going to try something else? Think about that for a minute. I know it's a little hard to see me today because it's really gray and nasty out here. It's actually about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so this is about as bright as it's going to get today. But, where would she be if she'd given up after 5 months or even 5.5 months? Think of what she'd be missing out on. So have some patience, and even if you don't think you're seeing results, my big question is, what are you going to do? That hood looks stupid, but it's cold out here. Let's see here. What are you going to do? You've decided it's not working right. Are you going to go back to eating all the carbs that you know are bad for you? I mean, if you've been doing this for any length of time, even just a couple of months, you've now learned that seed oils are poison to the system. Carbs are poison to the system. Your body can tolerate a little bit. That's why Ketovore and keto work. But you certainly don't want to be dumping 1, 2, 300 grams of carbs in your body every day. What are you going to do? Go back to eating processed food that you know is terrible for you? What's the alternative but to keep pressing forward, confident in the fact that all of the doctors that talk about this know what they're talking about? That carnivore or very low carb keto, depending on where you're at in the spectrum, is the species appropriate, species specific diet. Just because you're not getting the results you think you should get or had hoped you would get in the time frame that you're getting, that you thought you'd get them in, are you really going to give it all up, stop eating steak and go to the rice diet or the cabbage soup diet or whatever other of the crazy diets we used to do back in the day? Where would I be today if 2.5, 3 months into it, I'd have said, the heck with this. I'm not going to do this. Yeah. So I know what I want to say, and I hope I've said it good enough that for those of you that are still having troubles grasping the concept, that perhaps you can get it. That is carnivore diet the perfect diet for everybody? I believe it is. But not everybody's going to get the same results. You just have to trust that. Don't take my word for it. I'm just an old retired truck driver. But, take Dr. Barry's word for it. Take Dr. Chafee's word for it. Take Dr. Baker's word for it. Trust in the science that Professor K puts out. Trust all of the people that actually know about this stuff are saying, this is the correct diet. This will give you optimal health. You may have to tweak how much fat you're eating versus how much protein you're eating and all of those things. But the base of what we're having is the basis for the proper human diet. And I can't imagine at this point saying, I'm done with all this. Let me order a pizza. One time, not such a big deal. But if you start having all that stuff on a day-to-day basis, you're going to go right back to being where you were before you started. And eventually it's going to even get worse. I hope some of what I said today made sense. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.